Yeah, so we have been discussing about the Companies Act and the changes which the ministry has prescribed. Let's go into some more amendments which the ministry has suggested. And generally, my observation is about the lectures is that we most of the times we talk about the past, like the government had this, the amendment was like that, and therefore this is the way in which it has got an impact and all. So most of things that we talk is of past. But what I will be also discussing is that what will be the, you can say, the way ahead or the road ahead in future in respect of the company law compliances. So I will be discussing, means this part, the last 15-20 minutes part will be dedicated for that aspect. And we will be also discussing how will the business scenario that changes after COVID-19, how will it have an impact on the company law compliances. That is the entire purpose of our today's session. Okay, so let's now come to one more point. Yeah, to give you some background, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs on say 24th of March 2020, I think so, it was just the time when the lockdown was notified. Lockdown, I think so, started formally on 22nd of March 2020, and on 24th of March 2020 the ministry came out with a circular and provided some immediate relaxation under the Companies Act. So we will just discuss those points wherever possible. The CFSS, that is the Company Law Settlement Scheme or a Company Fresh Start Scheme, was in relation to this particular circular. So Fresh Start was the theme under which the scheme was introduced. Now to give you an example, presently under the Companies Act, there is a gap between two board meetings should not be more than 120 days. So that is the present provision, and therefore that provision is now required. They have extended from 120 days to 180 days. So some minor changes that are there, that the MC has introduced for the convenience of all the stakeholders. We had Companies Auditors Report Order 2020. So basically CARO, what we call it as CARO 2020. This was applicable from this financial year, that is financial year 2021. But now it has been further extended to the next financial year, and it will not be applicable in the present situation. Then we have one provision under the Companies Act that the independent directors should conduct their meeting. So independent directors meeting. So all the independent directors are there and they can conduct. So MC has said that this is either extended or you can conduct a board meeting through video conferencing or teleconferencing and get the compliance completed. So like that. So there are certain provisions. Now one more provision under the Companies Act says that once a company gets incorporated, we have to deposit the money, that is the share subscription money, within a period of 180 days. So now what the MCA has prescribed, that within 180 days you have to bring in the money. Now considering that there could be some financial crunch or a business crunch or a different business opportunity, bringing the share capital that they have proposed may not be possible. Therefore the ministry has introduced 180 days plus 180 days. So 360 days you can say the ministry has provided for. Now there is also one provision that a company should have a resident director. So resident director means a director who has been in India for a period of 182 days. Now because of this COVID-19 and travel restrictions and probably all those migration issues, they have said that it will not amount to a non-compliance for the financial year 2019-2020. So like that, various relaxations under various provisions of the Companies Act have been introduced by the government with an objective to ensure that people are not largely affected by the compliances in the present COVID-19 situations or the scenario. I feel we need to appreciate the government not only for the company law but also for the income tax laws and also for the GST laws. Yesterday only on 24th of June, the Ministry of Finance, the GST, have come out with a detailed notification about GST return and GST filing and GST payment. So interest aspect and all that has all been considered by the ministry, and that has been on record now. So this is the way in which now even for the income tax, the refunds were processed recently. The TDS, there was a cut in TDS, and also all these are the you can say the ways in which the government is responding to the compliance and where the money is stuck. So they are trying to bring in more money in the system so that the consumption increases. Once the consumption increases, the demand increases. Once the demand increases, the growth will increase, and people will start you can say coming back to the normal, or the new normal will then be settled. So that is the way in which the you can say the compliances and the cost and the money which is stuck up is all being released. To give you one more example or one more analogy of this particular company law compliances, if we see the GST and the income tax, a person's money is involved. Okay, so for example, I have to file a TDS, I have to file a income tax return, I have to file a GST return. I have to do something with my bank account and deposit and or withdraw, or get a refund, something of that sort I have to do. But now what has happened in the company law is that you have to just do the compliance. There is no money involved in the compliance. So we don't file returns for corporates for income tax or GST. Means that is not the basic role. Sorry, but that is not the basic role. But there are quite a few company secretaries who does this compliances also, GST and income tax. So therefore I feel that these compliances, though they are a bit strict, the government has even understood that and has now started taking steps, and have started taking steps for reducing the penalties and fines. So just to give you an example, the government has introduced Companies Amendment Bill 2020 in the budget session, the session which was just before the lockdown. So in that particular session, the government has so you can say introduced the Companies Amendment Bill. Around 20-25 provisions of the Companies Act 2013 are proposed to be amended. Now, if you read in the newspapers, you will always find that Companies Act 2013 is being decriminalized. So this decriminalize is basically, for example, I'll give you few examples, then probably you will be able to understand. Now, there are certain compliances that are to be done. For example, register to be maintained, records to be maintained, minutes to be maintained, a meeting to be held. Now, under the present provisions, if you don't maintain records, if you don't maintain registers, if you don't conduct a meeting, then practically the person who is in charge, he may be imprisoned, or a penalty of 1 lakh, 5 lakh would be imposed, 10 lakhs would be imposed, or a 10 times penalty may be imposed. So the possibility of these non-compliances and the outcome of the non-compliances are very high. Means if you don't comply, probably for a very simple compliance or a non-compliance, a person may be imprisoned for a period of 6 months. So all these are basically, it was a criminalized act. Means you don't comply, you go, or there is a criminal penalty assigned to it. So what happens, or what has happened, is that the government has introduced Companies Amendment Bill 2020, and somewhere in the March 2020 they had introduced the bill in the Parliament, Lok Sabha, that they had introduced. It has not been passed, but again, as I said, this is all about future, because we need to know what amendments will be there. And again, interestingly, this is in alliance or coordination with the COVID-19 situation, because now companies may not be penalized very heavily. So they introduced provisions under the Companies Act by amending certain provisions and ensuring that the penal provision is not a criminal penal provision, but it is now being decriminalized. So that is the way in which most of the imprisonment related provisions are being eliminated. However, if funds are being misused, if IPO is raised and the funds are being you can say siphoned off, in those cases there is no change. So very strict penal provisions are there in case of non-compliances, but not all are to be considered in that manner. So that is one important aspect. So I just wanted to highlight this point. Under the Companies Act, for public companies, there is a specific provision, or in fact there is no specific provision for payment of remuneration to non-executive directors in case of loss. So if at all a company is making a profit, it can pay a remuneration up to 10% or 11% or whatever is the limit that the act provides for. If the company is into loss, then the company shall ensure that presently there is a provision that you can pay to the executive directors, but there is no provision for payment of remuneration to the non-executive directors. Okay, so that is also now being introduced in the Companies Act 2013. So that is one important point. So these are two important points, or 2-3 important points about Companies Amendment Bill 2020. Now since it is just being introduced in Lok Sabha, and there are maybe few amendments that will be required under the Companies Act because of the COVID-19 situation, I also feel that the Companies Amendment Bill 2020 that has been introduced will be further amended. The objective here would be that whatever the difficulties that the corporates are going through in the last 3-4 months, the government will further amend it and then make it part of the act. Like, to give you an example, presently, to give you an example, that there is the government has introduced board meeting and general meeting through video conferencing. Now, general meeting through video conferencing, there is no provision under the Companies Act, absolutely no provision. So it is based on a circular. So government may introduce a provision saying that yes, the companies can conduct, and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs can issue the guidelines in this regard from time to time. So that is the way in which the government will take it forward, the further amendments on the Companies Act 2013. That is one. Secondly, we also discussed about the LLPs, Limited Liability Partnership. That is the LLP settlement scheme and the LLP structure. Now under the present situation, the government is also proposing to decriminalize LLP Act. So just for the purpose of example, you don't file a form, same thing as the case of Companies Act. You don't do a particular compliance and probably you will be either penalized or you will be imprisoned. Now to ensure that there is no such kind of a burden on the professionals, the government has introduced you can say a concept paper or a discussion paper, or you can say a report for inputs from public, that they propose to decriminalize the act, the LLP Act. So they have mentioned around some 15-20 you can say 15-20 points under which they will be decriminalizing the provisions. So there are around 20 provisions under the LLP Act that will be decriminalized. So yes, in a way it is a very noble thought or a novel idea of ensuring that the company has the company or the LLP, even if they don't comply, it doesn't become a very big issue for the stakeholders. So that is the way in which the policies are being framed and policies are being introduced in the next future, or the next 6 to 8 months, or probably 1 year. Let's see how all these you can say all these amendments are rolled out, and let's ensure that these amendments are helpful for the corporates. They are not they are actually providing ease of doing business, and there is no further hurdle, or there are very less hurdle in complying with the provisions of the act.